Gio, thanks for taking the time to come on.
A pleasure to be with you guys here again.
From Dallas back to Portland to Seattle, 3 games in 9 days, and you guys get through 2 rounds of the MLS Cup playoffs. And when you look back on that stretch, those 3 games from your team, how do you feel about the way your team performed?
No, I'm very proud of the performance of the guys. I think it was very difficult, too many matches against difficult teams and, not too much rest in between. But the guys were able to put a lot of heart, execute the plan that we put, in place, and anybody that stepped on the field was able to, give everything that they had in order for us to continue to work.
You mentioned those games, a lot of games for you to take on. You're the only team that remains that actually played in a knockout round. How much pride are you filled with that, knowing what I've just given you?
No, extremely proud, that, as I said, that we continue to go forward, and now we are in the final, the last 4 teams surviving still. Yeah. And just, credit to the guys. The guys have been working very hard. They work together. Anybody that step on the field wants to contribute, and it gives us the chance for us, the coaches, to continue to work, which is what we love.
As a manager, I imagine that you can picture how a match will play out going into the Seattle match. After the match, how much did that picture, that imagination come true to what you envisioned going into it?
Yes, I think we envisioned a lot of the things. Of course, some other things became a little more difficult. Yeah. We felt we did a very good job, almost around 70 minutes in keeping them away from doing certain things, and the game was pretty much 0-0. Then when they score, which we expected that could have happened, we felt that we could have gone a little bit more to get the game, and Blanco was able to score a tremendous goal for us, which I think was the key moment of the game. And then it was a little bit up and down, and became a little bit more out of control. But we felt in some way that the guys had, the energy and the desire and the heart to pull it together all the way. So there was a belief constantly that we could do, we could go through in this difficult match that we had against Seattle.
And the guys did so all the way through penalties. We've talked to a lot of players about kind of how they experience penalties and what's going through their mind. What's going through your mind as a coach as you're on the sideline and you're watching the penalties? How do you process that in the moment?
First of all, is that it's understanding that you are there and that you have to you have to go through it. And for me, it's just being positive, and that's the moment that the guys need to feel free. They need to feel calm. They need to feel that it's a moment to enjoy it. It's not a pressure moment. It's a moment to enjoy it. That we are there and we have the chance now to qualify, and whoever's going to take the PK should just enjoy taking the PK. And that was very important. That's what I told the guys. Just go there, enjoy, take responsibility, and do the best that you can.
And the guys stopping the PKs, Jeff Attinella, he guessed 3 out of the 4 correct ways to go. How much work goes on behind the scenes to be able to build up to those moments to be successful?
Memo is detail-oriented. He finds PKs from players, even in pickup games that you don't even know that existed. So he's always analyzing and sharing that information with the goalkeepers, which is very important. So Memo does a great job to make sure that they present to the goalkeepers every possible scenario that the player might have when they take PKs.
You guys advance now to the Western Conference Final, and from 3 games in 9 days to now 16 days in between games before the first leg of the Western Conference Final. How do you balance guys needing rest and also staying sharp, keeping momentum going?
First of all, is making sure that we listen also to them, that we can see how they're feeling, making sure that the practices are timing-wise perfect for them to be able to do enough but not too much. Moments of rest are very important at this stage, because it's like a very good, a moment of rest is like a very good practice for them, So, and I think this week has been good for us to get back into it and initiate again for next week, planning against, a very difficult team that we have to, confront. Casey is going to be difficult, but we have time tomorrow, next week to initiate and work towards that match.
And we go through this Sporting Kansas City side, Gio, but for a very short period of time against RSL, it looked as though RSL could be creeping in. I'm interested in your perspective when you were watching this match. What was going through your mind as both teams looked to be possibly playing against you?
Yeah, no, I think the first half, Kansas City, there's no doubt that was a better team. I think maybe they relaxed a little bit, thinking that the game was going to be a little bit more easier for them. And then they found the second half being more difficult. And then it was back and forth. And definitely, I think there was a moment in which there was a little bit of frustration and them being nervous because RSL that was creating a lot of opportunities. They were going at it, and it became a little bit up and down second half. They scored the fourth goal. I think Peter was a little more calm at that point.
You know Peter very well. You know Sporting Kansas City well. You guys played him twice this year. Scoreless draw at Providence Park, a loss in Kansas City. Neither game were you guys at full strength, and that game in Kansas City was the end of 3 games in a week for you. How much stock do you take in those matchups as you prepare for the first leg of the Western Conference Final?
First of all, we respect them. We think they're a very good team. Peter's done an incredible job there for many years. I think 10, if I'm not making a mistake, 10 years. I know him very well. We played together. So he's a detail-oriented, type of coach, and we expect him to be very good. But I think it's going to be a completely different match. Each match that we're going to play against them at home first, we expect, yes, some things that they used to do constantly, but also it's going to be a different match. And then when we go there, definitely very different than when we went there last time to play them.